Hey, good morning, clickers, and welcome to Photomax. You might wonder, why am I standing in the middle of the woods with a circular saw and a pencil behind my ear? Well, that's because we're in the middle of a little project, and we're about to show you what it is. Today's mission is to get some of this lumber all the way up there. There comes a time in every man's life when they realize age is sneaking up on them and the time to accomplish their goals is running out. You could call it a midlife crisis, but in March of 2024, I decided it was time to build a treehouse in the backyard. It had been a long winter, and the kids and I have been watching a lot of YouTube videos of folks building treehouses. I've been talking about building one for years, but I never felt like I had the time, as work and other projects always took priority. On the morning of March 3rd, 2024, still in our bed, I asked my wife, "What do you want to do today?" She replied,
"Why don't you start building that tree fort with the kids you've been talking about?"
My initial response was, "That's crazy. I'm not prepared to do all that." She said,
"My dad just slapped a couple 2x4s together with a plywood base and made it happen."
I lay there for a minute thinking, could today be the day I stop talking about doing stuff and actually make it happen? After breakfast, we looked around the yard and she pointed out a double trunk oak tree I hadn't considered before, but might be just right. We ran to Home Depot and picked up some supplies and took the first step on our 1,000-mile journey. Building his own fort. Look at that. Look at that guy doing it. Now you gotta go to the bottom one because it's gonna get in the way. You gotta keep alternating. There you go. Good stuff. Sienna's gonna help with the next set. Look, our kids are working on their own fort here. We're building it. We've been talking about it for years. Finally doing it. And they're old enough to help. You gonna build this whole thing?
Yeah.
You gonna learn how to build this house in a tree?
We're gonna make 2 separate floors.
There's gonna be phase 1, a nice platform about 6 feet off the ground. And then we're gonna build another one on top of that, hopefully. Maybe storage underneath. Never know. We can do whatever we want. And then a zip line through the woods. Woohoo! Yeah! Sweet. Over the next couple weeks, I gave it all some thought. A lot of thought. As the plans grew in my mind, I researched some building techniques and construction codes, looked into the local permitting process. I measured up the area and sketched up some plans and calculated the expected material costs. Once everything was set, I ordered up some pressure-treated lumber and got started. The first step was to frame up the deck so I could drop a plumb bob for the footers. I used a few of the 12-foot 4x4s I ordered to prop it up temporarily and made sure it was square and level. The next step was to set the 6x6 posts that would support the structure. My son Gabe lended me a hand, digging down 3 feet to backfill some gravel and concrete in the footers. Luckily, we didn't hit any tree roots because it was already a back-breaking job, but worth celebrating once complete. A few weeks later, I got a hand from my buddy Ryan to run the 2x10 support beams and set the 2x8 joists for the platform 16 inches apart. The support structure was completed with some hurricane ties nailed in to hold everything in place. Get it, boy! You gonna hit the nail? Well, hit yourself in the face. Sienna's getting it. Get it, girl. You get him a whacking. Whack. Yeah. Now we could really start having some fun. It was time for some decking and railings. The kids helped me screw in the deck boards and the plywood for the cabin floor. I used scrap pieces of 4x4 to leave placeholders for the posts that would eventually support the rooftop deck. I kept chipping away at the construction between photo shoots, usually in the evenings until it got dark. My brother Kurt had a cordless DeWalt jigsaw and came over one afternoon to help me scroll out the deck boards around the trees. We left a couple inches for tree growth and it ended up looking beautiful. I continued to finish the rails so the kids could start using the platform without constant supervision. I decided it would be easier to build the rooftop deck structure before the cabin itself. So one perfect spring day, Gabe and I notched out some support beams and made it happen. I took another trip to Home Depot to select some prime 2x4s and screwed them all together to construct the vision in my mind, leaving openings for the shed windows I'd ordered from Amazon. It's a lot to explain, so allow me to just walk you through it. Since it's kind of hard to tell in pictures what's going on here, I figure I'd give you guys a walking tour of the 2-story tree fort deck project. It's about 12 by 14 wrapped around 2 trees. You can see this little bump out on this side to give me a little extra space inside, a little extra deck space. I had to create a little box frame there for the bump out. Got hurricane ties around everything here, toenail in the middle. The upper 4x4s are sitting on top of these 6x6 posts. They're boxed in down here. And I don't really have, like right now the tree is not really connected to the upper structure. The understructure's got these 2x10s that are bolted to the tree with a little extra space for it to grow some, but the tree can swing a little bit this way and that way without moving the rest of the structure. All that's pretty much on the 6x6s. And we got structural screws in the ladder here. No problem getting up there one-handed. Got a handle right there. Got a little space over here. You can see we notched the deck around the tree here. Gave it a couple inches of space for swing. This is about 4.5 feet. Got about 3.5 feet over here. You can walk in. The upper deck is about 7 by 9, I think. The top part is just temporarily braced until I get the decking up there. I had this post on me, corkscrew out, so before I did that upper part where you can see I notched them in so for extra stability, I had to replace that. Braced it in. It was pretty scary getting all the way up there on the ladder, but I did it. And here is our just about 8 by 8 foot cabin. The door will probably be about 30 inches once I frame in some pressure treated around the frame. There's gonna be a little window in there, little square window. You might wonder what I did this for, and the plan for the exterior is gonna be to board and batten vertical 1x6s down with like 1.5 inch strips over top of the seams. The door is 6'4", so you can see this is about 7 feet high in here. You know, it's not super tall, but it's mostly for the kids. It's just strong enough for us adults to get in here too. There's gonna be bunks over here, 2 bunk beds. Got a window straight ahead, a shed window. They actually sit right on the inside of this. You just put some tape on here, set them in, put some tape over the front after you put that siding on, and then put some flashing around or some trim around that to make it look good. 2 windows here. I'm planning on doing plywood roof with a metal roof on top of that. So they're on 16s, they're only 4x4s, but most of the weight, if we get snow, is gonna be on the upper deck up there. So there shouldn't be too much weight on these. And I'll put these extra strips in here for a similar reason. Once I screw in the plywood, like the metal roofing has like seams that go this way, and in case some of them don't hit right on the studs, I'll have this to screw into. And I'll put a little fascia board up front so no water can get in up that way. You know, seam, it's going to be all completely sealed in, so weather tight. And who knows, we might even put a little fireplace heater over here in the corner for those cold winter nights, because we're going to be out here all year long, baby. I think this is more for me than it's for the kids. Yeah, buddy, it's all coming together. It was finally time to tack up some siding. I started with 1x6 pressure treated boards that I air nailed while battling an old leaky plug-in Porter cable compressor. With the help of a little child labor, the cabin really started taking shape.
All right, go for it. I don't know, higher. Higher. One more. All right, here's the bottom. A little worker. Nice. You like using that thing, don't you?
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Coming along. Last little bit. Woohoo! Getting there.
I designed the cabin so the pitched roof would be comprised of 2 sheets of 4x8 plywood without needing any cuts. I hoisted them in place, trimmed the edges with some flashing, and taped up the seams. I topped it with some corrugated aluminum roofing to seal her up and savored another battle won along our path to project completion. The next step was to pop in the windows and literally batten down the hatches. I borrowed my brother Kurt's cordless DeWalt table saw to mill down some 1x6 boards to 1.5-inch strips. Once they were all nailed in place, the siding was watertight and the old-time board and batten style gave it a classic look. I picked up a new cordless DeWalt air compressor to make the task a lot easier.
All right, a little lower. Keep going. Keep going down. Nice. Getting our battens put on here. Got the windows in, the trim's up. Looking good, baby. Gotta do under the window next.
I had to get on a ladder to complete the back of the cabin, but it was all worth the effort. I built the door from scrap lumber to match the siding, and the cabin was almost complete.
Well, I just put the final touches on the exterior of the tree fort cabin. Want to do a quick little tour here. For those who can't climb up. A little secure hair railings. Still have to do the upper deck. Planning on doing some kind of ladder up this tree. Let's see how that works out. But just got the door in last night. Got a little solar light here. We'll see how much sunlight we get, but in the wintertime should be good. Got our door all sealed up. Little pull cord light here. Fan, because yes, it is summertime and hot. Got this little 4 Patriots little battery generator thing here. I started, should have 4 hours of light, which should be plenty. Windows are all in. These little shed windows, pretty nice. Got a little ventilation here. Check out that view. Living up here in the trees.
The kids were pumped to have their very own treehouse and enjoyed it a little bit that summer between vacations. But we were about to embark on another adventure that I had been planning on for years, a road trip to Maine to relive my childhood exploring Acadia National Park. I bought the kids cameras to give them an introduction to photography while we were on our trip, and ultimately decided to start this channel with a series after returning home.
Now, I started this tree fort project back in the beginning of March. It's currently mid-September, and we've got a lot done so far. Finally finished up the cabin right before we went on vacation, but I still have to do the second deck up on top. We're gonna see how far we can get with that today. Just the days are getting shorter, and I'm getting older, so see how much we can get done. Got my little buddy coming up to help. Want to show some folks around a little bit, see what we got done so far?
It is.
We got a little power pack here. Turn the lights on. Nice, nice. It's a little 8x8 cabin. It's maybe a little smaller than that. We're trying to figure out how we're going to do it. We're going to put some bunks over here. Maybe we might do one up high, one down low, and then so we can put an air mattress on the floor. Or we might just do 2 that turns into a bench. Not sure yet. It is watertight. I've tested that. We had a couple really decent rainfalls, and that was going to be the tester. See if my handiwork really paid off, and so far it has. Everything stayed nice and dry. We just ordered up some flooring tiles to put the floor down in here just to make it easier to clean up, seal it in a little bit better, and before you know it, we'll be camping out here. Yeah,
with
buddy.
my friends.
With your friends. I don't know if I can trust you guys. You guys are knuckleheads. One handy little trick that I figured out for working down here in the woods is to use my kids' radio flyer cart to load up all my tools in, So when I want to get started, all I have to do is open up the garage and wheel everything down here. Makes things go a lot faster. Now, as of now, the tree fort itself is pretty much just resting on these 6x6 posts that I put in. They're 3 foot down into the ground, concreted in. And the original 2 boards that we started with back in March are these 2 2x12s that are attached to either side of the trees. But really, this side of the deck is just resting on here. I wanted to leave it with a little bit of play, especially with this tree over here, because it does lean a little bit, and when the wind gets going, it can sway some. So I want that to be able to sway back and forth a little bit. But this tree here, it really doesn't move much. So what I'm going to do before I go all the way up top and start swinging off the top of that thing, just to give it some extra security, I'm going to put these L brackets here and here, just to secure it to at least one of these trees. I'm not a professional construction guy. I have built a few decks in my day. This is a new project, something I've been wanting to do forever. My wife kind of was like, why don't we start building a tree fort? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure what trees are going to work best for that. And then later that day, she was like, what about these 2? And I was like, they might actually work. I was worried they were close to the property line, but I checked that and it was good. The neighbor was fine with it, so we just went after it and started doing it, and here we are. So let me put these in so I can get started on the top and just give myself a little extra added sense of security. At least he's here to call 911 just in case I fall off this sucker. One more over here. All right. All right, last pilot hole done. Doing work, buddy. Getting it done. Getting the last one put in here. Here, to get it real tight, try it this side. Turn it here and pull down on it instead of pushing up. Ready? One more. All right, good job.
Maybe one.
Knuckles. Oh, I made this mistake a few times. Started working without stretching first. When I was putting these bad boys in Easter week, I had a new respect for Jesus carrying these suckers around. And I pinched the nerve in my neck. I was waking up with numb hands. No good. I need to stretch a little bit before hoisting this back up here. Luckily, having these steps here kind of helps. My ultimate plan is to build a ladder going up this tree to get to the top. But for now, we're going to need to use my little giant to get up and down and get our supplies up there. Now you can see what we're looking at up here. I already cut some of these deck boards to give myself something to stand on while I was doing some of this. But I forgot how long they were. And the first thing we're going to do is cut a bunch of those 16 footers down. And we're right about 7 feet here. Yep, 7 feet. All right, so easy as that. Just gonna cut a bunch of 7 footers going across here. You can see the metal roof. Got some leaves on it. Hopefully this top deck will protect that from getting too much junk on it. And if anything were to fall out of the tree while we're in there, we got a little extra protection there too. Seven feet. Gotta use your square. Draw that line. This little piece we don't have to hold. Just let it go. Drop off. There we go. nice little trick I learned when you're doing a construction project and you're cutting up wood is grow your nose hairs out nice and long so you don't have to wear a mask. It really helps filter out the sawdust. Young grasshopper, ninja, Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello, Luigi. Oh, wrong cartoon. All right, that's enough cutting up boards for now. We're gonna have to get them up to the top, a few at a time here. I like take them and stack them up against this. Gabe, can you help me? You can do one. You do one at a time, okay?
Yeah, I can only do one at a time.
Put them there because we still got to climb up the ladder, okay?
Okay.
Move it or lose it, sister. All right, we're a third of the way there. Be careful, this stuff's just leaning here, okay? We're there. This one's gonna go over there. There's gonna be a little bit of space here. I gotta do 2 posts, one there and one here and one over there. But let's secure a little bit of this so I can feel comfortable standing on it. Haha, we're there, baby. Up there. This is freaking awesome. I'm on top of the world. Look at that view. So I just measured where the notches need to go on these deck boards, but I need to still put a post right here. So let's see, let's measure that up. It's gonna be a post here. The 4 feet should do it. Should be just right, actually. Let's just double check with this one. Oh, that was 49 inches. But I think I plan to cut a little bit off the edges of that. Let's check this one here. That one's 48. So 48 should be good. Let's just double check over here too. $48 and a little over 48, so I must have gotten a little extra on those two. Sweet. All right, I'm gonna leave this up here, get down there and start doing work. It's an 8-foot 4x4. Gonna cut her right in half. So basically what we just do is start on one side. Make sure it's gonna stay put. Gabe, can you hold that end? Hold that end over there. Continue to cut this. And this last one should cut it all the way through. Hold that in. Perfect. Now there's a couple extra pieces that I had that were kind of warped, but we only need half of it. So I think this half here is pretty straight still. So I'm gonna cut this off and use this as my third post. When I first set those posts for that upper deck, I didn't tie them into the top because I didn't have a good way of getting up there. So one on the front corner actually corkscrewed on me, twisted way off to the side, so I had to brace it up, unbolt it, pull it out, and put a fresh one in there when I did the top framing so I could actually tie it together. Wood coming out of the lumber yard is wet, so it needs to cure a little bit before it maintains its shape, and if you don't brace it correctly, it'll do all kinds of crazy stuff to you. So if you can dry your wood out first, that's great. If not, brace it up, make sure it doesn't twist on you. So here's a little trick I learned when you don't have somebody around to give you a hand and you need something to be held. Take a little scrap piece of wood there. I'm gonna put that 4x4 right here. This will help hold it in place. Make sure it's in there good and tight. Good and tight. There we go. Now we can drop that in from the top. All right, let's get this railing post up here. Get my little level, post level there. It's really important to get this stuff square and level from the get-go, or else you'll be battling your mistakes the whole time. So right there. Looks pretty good. Just like that. Bubble's good. That bubble's good. Pocket full of screws right here. So I'm going to temporarily tack this sucker in there. This should get enough distance to get off the ladder. Alright, give it one more check. It's good. Alright. Alright, now let's bolt her in down there. Cool.
Splitting logs. Rotten logs.
Yeah, you split them logs up so we can put them in the fireplace this winter.
They're rotten.
Found any bugs in there?
I just see one right here.
As long as they're not termites. Don't need that up here. Alright, now we can take this down because it's going to be in the way. Got to drill for 2 bolt holes right here. This wood is a little cured and hard. It's time for hammer time here. Had to get started with the shorty. Hope that doesn't catch my pants on fire. All right, finish her off. Come out the other side. Yep. These go on the other side. Take my gloves off for this so I can feel what I'm doing. All right, now I just gotta tighten them down. This is the one that's gonna be bearing all the weight. We're climbing in and out of here, so definitely want it to be nice and snug. Now she's getting tight. All right. One more check on the bottom. Nice. Good deal. Now, we notch these out, put these in place, and we start tightening those up. Alright, so here's where this post is going to go. We're going to use another piece to kind of map out where we got to jig this out. It's going to line up there, so we know how much to cut out of both sides. Line that up pretty good. And one more. Bingo. Getting jiggy with it. Kind of an old jigsaw, but it gets the job done. Bingo! Don't forget you got a table under there. Fits. There's one on the overhang here, so that's good. All right. A little space there. A couple of these in the middle. Don't need the hammer.
Hey, Dad!
What's up, bud?
I ripped the whole stump out of the ground.
Nice. One less stump I gotta get removed. All right, so we just keep doing that all the way across, and we can start spreading these out, tying them down. Look who's up here with me. What's up, dude? It's your first time up here? Be careful, there ain't nothing. These are just temporarily screwed in, and these aren't screwed down yet, so gotta be careful.
This may be low enough, but I may have to hang my bow over the edge.
It's pretty cool being up here, though, huh? Look how high up we are, man. Should we build another deck up there?
Yeah!
Keep going?
Yeah.
Till we get to the tippy top?
Yeah.
Or not. This crazy little inchworm we found. They're usually green. I don't know what kind that is.
It doesn't look like an
Like, where am I going? Oh, he's going. He's trying to reach the tree.
Sorry, buddy.
I don't think you're going to reach that far, buddy. Gabe's going to help out with some top deck boards here. Got some torque, doesn't it? There you go. Try to hold it straight right in front of you. Maybe use your leg to brace it so it doesn't torque on you. There you go. Good job. Start them young, people. Get it. Almost. Gotta keep it straight or else let's pop out on you. There you go. Good job. Nice. Line that sucker up there. All right, we'll get up there and level that out. Okay, we can bolt that now. Let's do something similar to the other side. Got 3 inches on either side of this. Mark those off so I can scroll it out. Clean your lens. Before I go back up there, I'm going to be putting on some of these. Old knees need knee pads if you're going to be on your knees all day long. Let's see how these fit. You help slide that over? Like a glove. What about the other side? Back up a little.
Don't break it. That's
Pretty good.
you missed the measure.
Oh, no, that's good. Give a little gap in there. Just got to make sure that it's even so that they line up the rest of the way. Okay. Cool? Little gap there. All right, let's tack those suckers in. All right, I got the last 2 top boards in. Last screw going in the hole right here. All right, almost solid. All right, now I got to start working on the railing. All right, I got the top piece in. I'm using some heavy duty screws on these railings up top because I really want them to hold just in case somebody trips a little bit. It's gonna be 3 rails just like down below with a top cap. Here's a nice little trick when you're working by yourself. Brace, you measure where you want your board to go, brace it up with a little piece like this, screw it in, and then you pull these out and set it for the next one. Makes one person construction a lot easier. See, that just sits right in there like that, right where you want it. And then all you gotta do is screw it in. Hopefully it doesn't shift on you. I usually use these regular screws as a tap. They're self-tapping screws, so you can screw them in, back them out, and then put the heavy-duty ones in there. Nice. Bottom of my center rail needs to be 13 1/4. 13 1/4. Take that guy out of there. Figure out where he's going to be up here. All right, repeat on the other side. It's a lot easier to get these screws started before you put it in place. Got those screws piloted in there. See how it looks. That's where she's gonna go, right to the edge like that. Does it look even? Looks pretty good to me. Get those in there first. Looks perfect. Now we pull those back out. Swap them for the big boys. So here's these heavy duty lock line timber locks, 4 inches. Booyah. That ain't coming out of there. Do that with the rest. Look who's joined us. Hi, baby. What do you think of this?
Meh.
Way up in the sky, huh?
Meh.
Yeah. Superwoman. Don't go flying off of here now.
Just like Mom is.
That's Wonder Woman over there. Be careful. No, don't get toward the edge. This side's in real good here. You can stand by this side. Daddy needs to leave this open, but I'm trying to finish that over there. Maybe this over here.
Can I help screw in some screws?
You want to put a screw in real quick?
Well, first of all,
I got plenty of screws that need to go on the floor. Look.
Where's Gabe?
Gabe's over at Quentin's house. You want to try to put the screw in? Let me start it for you. All right, ready? Pull the trigger and push down. Push down with your other hand. Bam! Oh, there you go.
I think it went into a little bit too far in.
That's okay. We can back it back out. Look. Oh, maybe not. We'll keep it right there.
Yep, that's fine.
But we got a lot more of those to do. So once Daddy gets the railing up, I'm definitely going to have you help me out, okay?
This one's kind of crooked.
Everyone's a critic. See you next time, girl.
Bye.
Love you.
Forever.
Don't say that. That's ominous.
I'm so high, I feel like that I'm gonna burn.
Yeah, Daddy's starting to feel like that too. Whatever you do, don't look down. Now we can drop it into place. Our little temporary braces. Get those popped in there. Even over here, even enough. All All right, so I got all these railings up, the top railings. So I'm gonna go ahead and go and saw these posts off of here. Booyah! Bombs away! Well, that's it for today. I still got a little bit more railings to put up here, but we got some company joining us, so I'm gonna just pack it up and have to finish another day. Till next time, clean your lens, keep clicking, and enjoy the day.